Show morning with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank midday. Leykis drives you home afternoons. On air at 97.1. Online at 97.1fmtalk.com.
Powered by Laser Eye Center. Call 1-800-80-LASER and ask about their zero down, no interest financing till 2010.
5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Dance floor. Studs. Studs.
All right, welcome everybody. It is the Tim Conway Jr. Show live on 97.1 FM Talk, and we are joined by the people who really impacted my life over the last 12 years, and also a lot of radio people. So, never gets old, huh? To introduce everybody here, and I can't believe that this man made it in. Whenever I lose the edge at night, if you know what I mean, without putting too big an exclamation point on it, and I do need to laugh, I put in an old Conway and Steckler CD. And ladies and gentlemen, Douglas, Mars, and Steckler.
And good to see you, Timmy, me boy. And I'm glad that I can still be put on.
I called Doug last night. We hadn't talked for a while, and I called him last night. And he picks up the phone. I said, hey, Steckler, it's Conway. And the first thing he says is, can you believe the mother with the 8 babies? And went off for about 5 minutes. So jump right back into it.
Well, it's I wish it was a better occasion, but it's the twilight of the gods. It seems impossible, this whole event, and it's kind of difficult to be cheerful when the guillotine came down so very hard.
Yeah, it's coming down in 3 hours from now. They're going to cut us off here. This is the last show we're doing at CBS. But go to the website because we'll tell you what we'll be doing starting Monday. And the website is timconwayjr.com. You might hear me mention it about 1,000 times tonight. All right, also, my old partner who is back, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Whitman is here. How are you, sir?
Timmy Conway Jr., look at you, man. I said it, man. God damn it, man. Got Steckler in here, man. Jesus Christ, I thought if it rained, man, Steckler put on those galoshes, man. Good God almighty, man. It's the last effing show, man. I mean, this is it, man. This is it, my brother. This is it, man.
I picked up Brian today, and Jason Salako, a very good friend of ours, said it won't be 2 blocks before he's doing Rick Dees and telling Rick Dees stories. And it wasn't even a block.
Oh, well, you know it. No, I just love to lay them on you right away. I just love to do it. You know that, Tim.
But he told me, as Rick Dees, that I could go to Chez New if I wanted to.
Anytime you want, just feel free to go in there. He said that to me. I was at this restaurant with him, and we walked out. This is a long time ago, and it's a restaurant in the neighborhood. He said, hey, Brian, anytime you want to go there, just, get in the car and jump in the car and just go. and I said, so I'm getting permission from you to go to a public establishment?
Absolutely. Anytime. Just kind of jump right in there and go a lot. I mean, go often. I mean, just do it. Do it, Brian.
From the Frosty, Heidi, and Frank show, Frosty Stilwell, man. Look at you.
Frosty.
You realize I'm missing Larry King. This is way past my bedtime.
Frosty emailed me this afternoon and said, I can stick my head in for a second, but I got a lot of moving to do. I can stick my head in long enough to kill 2 ratings points. And I said, well, according to the PPM, you could really only kill 1.3 of the rating points. Now, you got a big show tomorrow, eh?
Yes, I guess tomorrow. I don't know when the flip actually happens, but we may be the last full show is us. Then I guess it might go to Tom for an hour or 2 and then the flip.
Right.
So during our show tomorrow, which is 10 to 2, it's not even going to be a show. It's kind of like you tonight, Tim. It's going to be it's just a massive party.
Right.
We have a fully stocked bar in our office. We intend to go through every drop in there.
Right.
Anyone who wants to stop by is welcome to, like tonight, and we're going to take this sucker out with a blast.
Now, will you be drinking to the point where, again, you black out?
It's quite possible. Oh, you've heard that?
Yeah.
I tried my best to convince everyone that was shtick. I was acting. I'm really good.
Yeah.
But they
How'd
saw
your
through
sponsor
it.
like that show?
My sponsor.
Oh, no, you don't talk about AA on the air? I'm sorry.
Oh, is that what you mean?
I'm
Okay.
sorry about that.
Not in front of your guests.
I got it, Tim. I got it.
Not in front
All right.
Frosty, have we talked about blackouts together?
No, I don't think so. We should. We should actually hang out and stuff and get coffee and talk about it.
Enough of them, and they take you off the air.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, now real quickly, Brian told me a very funny story tonight, and then we'll get more into it later. But Brian revealed to me tonight while we were over at Ralph's, like, basically two homeless guys. I mean, I'm in a T-shirt. He's in a crappy shirt, too.
I'm a little sensitive to that word, by the way.
I know.
The H word.
But when Brian Whitman was fired from the station, he was actually taking a nap.
Yeah. I lost my job sleeping.
Right.
I woke up after a...
So you missed the fun of being ushered out by security.
I did, Steckler. And you know what?
That's a crowd pleaser.
I lost the opportunity to have somebody from Human Resources gather my belongings and escort me out.
There's a clipboard involved.
I was literally sleeping after, let me say, a pretty rough night and a horrible broadcast. And I woke up from the nap, and I said to my girlfriend, who, not around anymore either, I said, God, I don't think I can go in tonight. And she said, oh, Brian, you don't have to worry about ever going in again.
All right, we also have from Channel 2 and Channel 9, Josh Rubenstein and also Paul Majors. Look at that.
Tim.
Paul Majors, who is the big anchor of the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 11 o'clock news on Channel 2. And Josh Rubenstein, who does the weather and has been very busy this year. Thank God, right?
Well, yeah, I don't think this is working, but
There you go. You got to talk right in the mic.
Hello.
There you go. There you go.
It's radio.
It's radio, not TV.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very busy. Thanks to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks to you. It's gonna, and it may be sunny and 75 in Southern California tomorrow, but
Perfect.
gray skies.
Hey, Josh, let's just keep it short since you and I are the only two here with jobs.
I haven't been escorted out of anywhere yet.
All right, Tim, thanks. We'll see you later. Hey, good luck, all you guys. Have fun. All right, Josh and I are heading back to work.
The guy that makes me laugh my ass off every Friday at 8 o'clock, and he's on every morning until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Then he's unemployed. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Carolla is with us. How are you, sir?
Doing good, you know.
Excellent, man.
Tim, first, just a quick piece of business. Monday, ArcLight matinee, 10:15, Mall Cop. Have you guys seen that?
Let me see if, I can be there, yeah.
I got to catch you. I got a lot of living to do.
I told my wife, she said, what are you going to do now that you're not working? And I said, well, I've got two thoroughbred turf club passes to Santa Anita. I'm just going to spend the week out there. And she said, great. Fantastic. Nothing says you got to get another job in 2 months like spending every day at the racetrack. But I wish you could join us out there at the racetrack.
Well, I will. I can, and I shall.
Yeah. I heard today you got into it with Bonaducci, and you let him have it pretty good.
Well, Bonaducci, his trade is conflict and, being abrasive.
Right.
But, I mean, the reality is he's a nice guy, but he approaches radio like Ted DiBiase approached wrestling, which is he has a persona, and he likes to mix it up. And, it makes for compelling radio depending on what mood you're in. But he got on the air today, and he started talking about how I basically jumped the gun, and that Jack Silver and I had spoken, and that we were going to deliver the message on Friday. And I went and blurted it out this morning, and that was a really uncool thing to do.
Oh.
And, for me, I don't mind being called an a-hole, and I don't mind called a lot of things, but at least make it factual. What happened was, and this is how you work into the weave, Tim, what happened was Jack and I talked about this last week, and we said, he said, how do you want to handle it? And I said, what does New York want us to do? And he says, they don't care. And I said, well, a week seems like a little too much. A day seems a little too short. And by the way, according to the timing, you, who've been on the station the longest, is not going to get a chance to say goodbye.
12 years.
Because they're going to blow. Geez, it feels like longer.
For the record. Yeah.
But they're going to blow this thing up at 5 o'clock tomorrow,
right.
And I'm doing the math on that one. So I said, why don't you give it 2 days? Let's just do Thursday, Friday of next week.
Excellent. Well, thanks for looking out for me, man.
Well, I started this week, and then when I started today, and when I tuned in, and by the way, everyone knew it. I was getting calls yesterday because they had to alert the affiliates. And, you know, with the internet and all that kind of stuff, word travels pretty quick. But either way, Danny was sort of accusing me of not being a team player, being selfish, blurting this out, not giving everyone else a chance to prepare their final statements, catching people off guard, when in fact Jack and I had spoken about it a week earlier.
Hey, are you going to reveal tomorrow on the show your tremendous dislike for him?
Danny or Jack?
Both of them.
No, the reality, it's weird because, and I think you guys all know how this works with a lot of stuff. I don't mind Danny as a human being. He was just a bad fit for me. I didn't want to do radio. I didn't want to do that kind of radio. And Jack Silver is a perfectly nice guy, but he has an idea about a kind of radio that I don't want to do. I didn't want to do that pro wrestling type of radio. He would come in every third week, put his head in the door, and say, 2 words, Ace Man, wing ball. And I'd be like,
I got another 2 words.
Yeah. Hey, you know,
so this is morbidly obese guys polishing off a bucket of hot wings, and I'm supposed to have what opinion about this? And then he would stop and he'd go, it's huge in Philly.
Hey, Adam Carolla is with us. Real quickly, because I know we got a lot of people to get to here. I put together a demo reel for myself because now I got to look for a job. And the demo reel, I'm not going to play it for you, but it says, hey, it's the Tim Conway Jr. show. We happen to have Adam Carolla on tonight, and then the next 3.5 minutes is just you.
So my phone should be ringing?
Yeah. So I sent it to one of the program directors. He sent it back. He says, we need a little more of you on it. And I said, who? Adam? He says, no, you idiot, you. But it's a classic reel. You went on a run for about 3.5 minutes, and it was beautiful. At the end, I said, hey, it's the Tim Conway Jr. show. There you go.
Well, don't throw it away.
But you know what? But ultimately, it was the show that we did together.
I may need it myself. Well, let me say this because I know you have Brian in there and Doug, and I'm a huge fan. And much like any memorial, it's sad that it takes an event like this to get these kinds of people back together again.
Right.
But and I miss hearing Doug on the air, and I miss Brian on the air as well.
Who do you miss more?
So I won't monopolize too much of your time, but listen, without naming any
Thank you,
names.
Adam. By the way, thank you. That's a very kind of you to say that.
Yes,
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Without in Frosty, if he's there, I don't know who.
Yes,
yes, he's there.
Who's all there? But without getting into all the specifics, Tim, you've always been a great friend. You've always been great on the air.
Thank you, sir.
I did your show for many years when I was on a competitive or a competing station, much to the chagrin of Kevin Weatherly, the program director of the other station.
Oh, he didn't like you coming on?
No, but he didn't like many of the things I did. But look at me now. I'm S-canned. So the joke's on him.
Right. Well, I will miss Friday nights at 8 o'clock. I really look forward to that.
And again, I know you land on your feet,
Thank you, sir.
it was always a pleasure working with you, and I always enjoyed it, and your class act. And I want to say that to all the guys in the room as well. It was a true pleasure.
Well, thank you, buddy. And well, you know how every night we had you, every Friday night at 8 o'clock, and started that when Adam was promoting his movie, The Hammer. And he said, you know, we asked him if he wanted to come on and promote it for a couple minutes. He was on the first time for 3 minutes, second time for 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. And then we were doing commercial-free hours by the end, and you had another job.
Yeah, I know. So, I did it because I loved it. I did it because we had great chemistry together. And, you know, Tim, it's, you know, you're sitting in the room with Doug, you're sitting in the room with Brian, you're on the phone with me. You had great rapport with all three of us, and what's the common denominator?
Fired.
It's Tim Conway. Other than being S-canned, you, my friend.
Well,
So,
thank you. I really appreciate that, man.
Enjoy this night.
And I contacted your assistant and asked if, you know, if for your phone number, maybe we'll go to the track, and she said not to contact you anymore.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
Don't worry, Jimmy.
All right, buddy. Thanks again, man. And I'll be listening tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take care of yourself. All right, Adam Carolla, everybody. Look at that. Awfully nice of him to do that.
Great guy.
All right, folks, we have Doug Steckler. Hey, look at this. Bob Moore has come into the station. Look at that. Yeah,
Doesn't
Bob.
anybody realize it's a joke? Jesus Christ. What a stunt.
It's just an excuse to have beer in the studio again.
What a stunt.
Yeah, this is great.
Douglas Steckler.
Yeah, look at that. Doug
Good to see you,
Steckler.
Bob. Great to see you.
Bob Moore was the general manager of the station. Saw some
I
writing
love
on the wall.
Was. I love the was.
Yeah, and skipped out of here a couple of weeks ago, and is now running Citadel.
Yes.
By the way, I want everybody to know that Paul Harvey's first rag signing is at Camacho's on Saturday.
Paul's in there every day, Brian, knocking it out, man.
He does show up. I'll give him that.
That is great.
But in all seriousness, I mean, this is a tragic day in LA radio because Whitman and back on the air, but that's not the reason. It's a tragic day in LA radio.
Didn't I take enough insults while I
By
was
the way,
here?
Brian, you finally made it back for the last show.
Right.
You're finally
Yeah, and I
was
had to
on
pick-
time, too. I was very early.
I had to pick him up so he didn't call in sick.
That's right. Will somebody tell Frosty his shift ended a couple hours
I
ago?
haven't been home yet. I think I'm sleeping here.
Anyway, all I wanted to do is I wanted to stop by, Tim, and thank you and thank everybody because I think this was the greatest radio station in the world. I think the talent that we put together here was the best ever, and there will never, ever, ever be another radio station like this. And it's really a tragedy that it's leaving the airwaves.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously...
This was Whitman's last shot, so this is a tragedy that it's leaving the airwaves.
Brother, that is 2 shots at me. Nothing ever goddamn changes at this place. You got a whole room of people, and you got to target me for every insult. I could never understand. Frosty writes songs about me. Leykis chews me up every day. Carolla says I would be a horrible radio host on my own. You say it's tragic I'm on the... What the hell am I doing here?
Ruben doesn't have a mic. That's why I'm not working on Sam yet.
Yeah. Bob Moore, the general manager of this station, 97.1 FM Talk, had a meeting every Monday morning with the entire sales staff, and they would have a bet as to which day Brian Whitman would call in sick. And often, Bob would call me early in the morning and go, "Hey, what's the over-under on this thing?" And I said, "I would take tonight."
I've got Whitman for Tuesday and possibly Thursday. Jesus Christ. I'll never forget this. And this is a quote. Jesus Christ, Brian, it's no problem with you on the air, but my God, you gotta come to goddamn work.
Did they ever fix that black hole at Wilshire and La Brea?
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Wilshire and La Brea, unreal.
Yeah,
You
well,
couldn't
that
be
was where I made the decision. It was
Right.
oftentimes, I'd leave it for the last minute. Am I going to do this or not? And whoa, you turn.
Yeah. All right. Also, Paul Majors and Josh Rubenstein are with us, and Paul Majors had a great story. He's been in town, what now, 4 years? 5
6 years.
6 years already?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks to you.
And he said when you went to cash a check somewhere, I guess they recognize you from...
With the voice.
Oh, from The Voice.
Yeah,
right.
this has happened to me. Tim, you've been so great to me. You really
Oh,
have. I mean, I
please.
got to town, and within 3 months, I think I was on your show, and then you always had me on, like on Mondays and stuff, and I really appreciate it very much.
I was just so thankful we didn't have to have Ken Shocknick on anymore. Just kidding.
So I appreciate it very much. But after being on and with Steckler and then with Brian, this happened to me several times, actually. I'd be somewhere, and somebody would look up and go, "Hey, I know you. You're on the Conway show." Hey, what's Conway? What's Whitman like? What's that Steckler like in person?
And meanwhile, he's on TV for
I'm like,
3 hours a
a
night.
day, and they have no idea. No idea. They
That's
recognize
wild.
me from your show.
Yeah, and Josh Rubenstein, always nice to see you. And we had a great time going over to Channel 9 and Channel 2 and doing those live broadcasts on Channel 9.
It's always fun.
Yeah, I can't thank you
Always
guys
fun.
enough.
Always great to be with you, and the same sentiments as Paul. I mean, you always welcomed me in here and had me on the show, and I couldn't be happier with.
And you never said no to us. I mean, we need the weather, when we needed a breaking news story. Mike Nelson was the perfect guy. He would, he'd come out and break you guys out, and it was really terrific. So everybody there that came on, Jackie Johnson, Vera Jimenez, I'm probably thinking Pat Harvey, probably missing
Glenn. Walker, we talked about him.
Glenn Walker, yeah.
But Tim, you've been very gracious, and obviously all these people here, it's a testament to just what kind of guy you are.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Paul, you're an anchor for Channel 2. You couldn't have done anything here, huh? Like pulled these strings. I mean, it's not like you're out of money, you know?
I'm still having Paul work on my deal.
How much pull do you have with CBS?
Josh will attest to this. When you go over there, the Radford lot over there, you get real small. Real small.
All right, thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah,
now,
thanks.
Frosty, I'm sorry, your show is going to be on tomorrow starting at 10.
Yeah, it's a massive goodbye party. And listen, I have to take out early. I'll free up the mic because I got to get home and give my dog a shot. But I want to say this room has some great talent in it now. Bob Moore is here. I didn't expect to see you tonight. Bob put this station together and kept us together for years. And for all of you who like 97.1, through all its incarnations, had it not been for Bob Moore and Jack Silver, we wouldn't even have been here. So thank you, Bob, for keeping us together.
Yeah,
and Tim, you and your night show. It's good to see these two gentlemen sitting next to you. And I didn't expect to see Doug tonight. I didn't expect to see you, Brian. You at the night show here at 97.1 had a show as good as any morning show at any station in America all these years.
Well, the ratings didn't say that. I'll be honest with you.
Ratings be damned.
I don't have to worry about being fired tomorrow. Yeah, why was I looking at you?
But I do want to say there is someone very concerned about this radio station going off the air.
Who's that?
And all the talent not being around all the time. Jim Pizer from Beam Global is very concerned about their sales because this radio station had a habit of putting away a lot of booze and a lot of beer.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, yeah.
And they're very worried about that.
Absolutely.
They're worried about those sales.
I don't know where all these ads are going to go. I mean, from the...
I think I could find somewhere between 95 and 95 and a half.
Right. What about the O-ring, though? I mean, you know, what was the sex aid?
I swear to God, I thought the O-ring was a piece of jewelry. But attention advertisers, I'm selling Al Rantel at basement prices.
Don't you think Scarborough is perfect for the O-ring?
Hey, Al, by the way, how do you like working with Bob?
Oh, well, look, Bob is great, and he's, for starters, he's not a liberal, and, that helps out. But, we got a lot of liberals running around. I mean, up in Sacramento, the tax and spend types. You know what I'm talking about, Bob.
All right, Bob Moore, thank you very much. Doug Steckler's with us.
Seriously, Tim, I just wanted to say really one thing, and again, every show on this station is a testament to what great radio is, and what you gave me. You're the longest surviving talent on this radio station, and I really appreciate the efforts, and I speak for the audience of every single person in this room and every person on this radio station.
You know, when I started here, I was $128,000 in debt to the IRS. No home, no car, no girlfriend.
And I can finish this. Two television stations, two television sets.
Right.
One that only got the picture,
right,
and the other one that only got the volume. They're on top of each other.
So I would have to go to the televisions and change them simultaneously. And I had, and Steckler will tell you about this, I had blow-up furniture that I fell asleep smoking in one night and popped it.
True.
That's a true story. And now I'm miserable as hell. So thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Bob Moore, Steckler, also Brian Whitman. Frosty tomorrow at 10 a.m.
10 in the morning.
Josh Rubenstein, and also Paul Majors. Major studs here. It is the Tim Conway Jr. Show, the last show on 97.1 FM Talk. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Tim Conway Jr. Show live at 97.1 FM Talk with a ton of people in here. And we wanted to invite everybody down that I met throughout the years, 12 years doing the show, and not to do one of those, we're going to miss you.
We are the world.
But these are all, everyone here tonight are all people that had a tremendous impact on me in the last 12 years, and all real pros, man. There's not a single person here that isn't a tremendous pro and showed up to work for every... Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I didn't mean that.
I know, but you just can't help yourself, can you? You just can't help yourself. By the way, Josh Rubenstein on the way out,
right?
He gave me the 5-day. It doesn't look good.
Okay. All right. I'd like to put on a man who said to me, and when I told my dad, I said, "Hey, Dad, I think comedy runs in my blood." His response was, "I wish it was on your show." Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Conway, how are you?
Oh, boy. Yay!
Bravo!
Tim,
Hey.
God bless you, my son. I'm telling you, a father could not ask for a better kid than you. I'm telling you.
Right?
And it's been a great 12 years that you spent there. And hello to Doug and all the guys, Brian and Frosty and Josh and Paul, you good-looking guy. You'll see a little later.
Okay.
And Adam and Bob and Jack. It's just been wonderful. Did that cover them all?
I think everybody, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then hopefully you'll get back in there again tomorrow.
Yeah. But my dad, when I first started doing radio here, he said, here's what you got to do. You got to be very nice to everybody because you'll have a long, long career. And I said, Dad, I think times have changed a little. He said, no, just do it. Be very nice to everybody. And the first call that we took, Steckler and I got into a tremendous argument with the guy. And my dad said, Tim, you're going to get shot one of these days. Please. That's why he never has dinner with me.
That's right. Jesus, get away from me.
Right.
God. Yeah, well, as you know, I've been fired a lot, many more times than you ever will in your lifetime. My license plate, my
13 weeks. I know this, 13 weeks.
13 weeks, yeah. And I had one guy from ABC come down one time when we were doing Rango, and we were filming, actually, and he came down and he said, stop doing this. And that was it. The show was over and I was gone.
Yeah, but you never knew it. Growing up, when you were either fired or got a new job, nobody ever knew it. I mean, the demeanor was exactly the same.
Yeah, and normally, they fire you on Friday. It's kind of unusual that you're getting fired on Thursday because they want to let you go on Friday and late on Friday so that you don't steal anything. If
Right,
they fire
exactly.
you on Wednesday, you take cable and stuff. So
I got a Tuesday. Anyone have a
Yes.
Tuesday?
My dad said to me about a year ago, he said, Tim, I'm having dinner at the house Thursday night. And I said, what time? He said, 7:30. Can you make it? And I said, well, no, but for the 12th year in a row, I'll be working that night. He said, oh, yeah, that's right. Jeez, I forgot. What time are you on again?
Hey, I heard the show a couple of times, so in the last 12 years, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stay up late. Right. Hey, listen, I'm going to have a ton of time to go to Santa Anita with you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and that's what Jennifer really prefers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And during these times, it's great to lose a lot of money.
Right, exactly.
So this will really be great. Yeah.
I'll stop by tomorrow. We'll hit the OTB.
Okay, Tim, and God bless you. It's been a great run for all of you guys there, and I wish this show like this was on every night. I mean, this would be, wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, come on over to the house.
Hey,
and we'll
that's
just,
solid,
do it
Let's
over
do
here.
that. Hey, by the way, it is on the webcast right now. You can go see it on your computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Go to 971fmtalk.com.
Okay.
Or Stickcam, STICKAM. Oh, you're not going to remember that. I'm not.
No.
I can't remember.
Well, I'm not even going to go listen to it either. So.
All right.
Other stuff.
I know.
Okay, Dave.
Back to KBC for it with you, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll see you tomorrow night.
I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
There he
Bye,
goes,
Tim.
man. Tim Conway.
Yeah.
Doug Steckler joins us. Brian Whitman. From KTLA, Sam Rubin, everybody. Hey. Sammy used to have a show on this radio station. Sometimes it was a half hour, sometimes it was a minute.
The minute ones were always better.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I came to the station filling in for you guys. It all comes... You punched out Ricky Rackman, was that right?
You got it close.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was on the receiving end.
You were on the receiving end.
By the way, isn't there a red carpet that you should be on? It's Oscar week. You should be kissing somebody's ass someplace.
I was doing the red carpet actually here at the
Is that
CBS
right?
building. Yes.
I'll be darned.
I was like, Bob Moore, what are you wearing?
Are you doing red carpet this week?
Yes, 3 to 5 on Channel 5. Yes.
On Channel 5.
In fact, I thought I was here actually just to do a promo interview for
Oh,
the
is
red
that
carpet
right?
show. I had no idea any of this was going on.
We got news for you. Better get all your promos in, pal.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Paul Majors, which is hilarious to me,
Right.
comes in, suit, tie, makeup. He brings his own headphones.
Right.
To be like,
he's a smart
Tim?
man.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and Sam Rubin shows up with an old Angels jersey. So tomorrow at obviously you'll mention the station tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we'll mention the station tomorrow. We invited you, Tim. I'm hoping you're going to come on Monday or Tuesday.
Monday,
next
yeah,
week.
Monday or Tuesday. I'd
we
love
wanna
to,
have-
yeah.
And you know what? I say this not only having worked here, which I enjoyed tremendously beyond measure. Malibu Dan, it's so great to see him.
Oh, that's right. Also,
yeah.
Malibu Dan is with us, everybody.
Good to be here. I mean, it truly is amazing to be here. I can't believe that it's, I know I left about 2.5 years ago, but it was always my home. And now, much like my real life, I don't have that anymore.
Malibu Dan, he made a decision to leave radio like he would decide to buy a Kit Kat at a 7-Eleven. It was real an impulse decision.
Well, I got high and I had the munchies.
Yeah, he got really high and he resigned from the station and he put his letter of resignation under Jack Silver's door. And I said, dude, don't do that. I said, you get severance pay. You've been here for 15 years?
I was here for 14 years.
14 years,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks a year. You could have gotten, 30 weeks worth of pay. Yeah. And so we took
and that's $7,000 he could have really used.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we took an old hanger and tried to get it out of Jack's office.
You know what? I was freaking out. I couldn't open the damn door, and the lady couldn't understand English. I'm like, open up the door, and she kept on cleaning away, and it was just.
And he resigned, but he doesn't tell anybody he's going to do that. He goes, yeah. By the way, I just called Paul Majors. He's coming on Tuesday. Your car is parked on level 2, and I resigned. It's amazing man.
Well, Tim, I missed you very much, and
now he's over to Spanish station.
Yeah, I'm at Univision Radio.
Yes.
Well, now you could talk to that maid, huh?
Yeah, and by the way, this is Carolla with us too from KFI.
All over the place.
All over the joint. Nice to see you. Kogo too, right?
KGO.
KGO.
Yes. There was no other O. Yeah. Boy, when I got fired, there was no party like this. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, you said the F word on the
I
air.
did about a plumber, and what do you know?
Whose fault was that?
Mine, I guess. I'm told.
F Joe the plumber. How can you clean it up for the air?
No, actually.
F Joe the plumber.
F
that
Joe
mother
the
effer.
GG plumber. I wish he would simply drop dead.
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
And it's so
that'll
long.
get you fired these days. Hey, got me hired by 5 stations. You will be too.
There you go.
know.
All right, Malibu Dan works for a Spanish station, and he called me shortly after he started there, and I said, how's it going? He said, it's not going well. And I said, maybe the fact that you don't speak a word of English, does that have anything to do with it? He said, well, it's not only that, but all the memos that are coming out, they all come out in Mexican.
It took me half the day to translate.
Into the United States-ish.
And that's very politically correct working there as well.
Yeah. By the way, it sounded like an old John Wayne movie, like in the 50s. Well, they're speaking Mexican down there.
By the way, it still hurts. I know that's been a few years, but it still hurts. The insults, to the face, it still hurts.
A lot of people still refer to it as Spanish, but what the hell. But always nice to see you, Malibu Dan.
Good to see you, Tim, and I can speak for most of Southern California. We will all absolutely miss you.
Get out of here, dude.
No, we will.
All 1.4 of them, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. We have everybody who's ever listened on hold right now.
Well, not your dad anymore, so it's 1.3 now.
Alex, Miguel, Rena, Eric, Alfredo, TJ, and Brian are the guys that call us every night, and we just rotate them.
Send them something.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's take a call from Shauna Woolsey here. She's nice enough to call, and she used to be our old screener. Woolsey, you there?
Timmy.
Hey, it's over, baby.
How's it going?
Good, it's over.
I know.
That's how it's going. What do you mean, how's it going? I'm unemployed tomorrow. How do you think it's going?
But you know what? I'm watching you, and I like to see that you're still wearing your white T-shirt.
I know.
Even on your last day.
I know. My wife gave me a shirt to wear, and it was so hot. It was a short sleeve, like a wool shirt or something. I said, F it, I'm just going to go in with the shirt that I started here with. And it's the exact same shirt.
Okay, and I can see Brian Whitman.
Brian Whitman's here, Steckler, and Carolla, also Malibu Dan, and Sam
Woolsey. Do you remember the night
Rubin.
that, Tim, you'll remember this, and Woolsey, you'll remember, speaking of shirts, do you remember the night I came in with a T-shirt on? I had every intention at the house of wearing this T-shirt and then wearing a long shirt over it.
Right, the one with the shirt with all the holes in it?
And we had Woolsey count the number of holes in my shirt.
Right.
24.
Yeah, 24 holes in a shirt.
Did she get hazard pay for that?
But I swear to God, I just forgot to put another shirt on over it. I arrived here and I went, what the hell?
I know.
Who dressed me?
But you were really a mess to work with sometimes.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Because
nothing like therapy here on the last day.
I mean,
I understand.
Because like you wouldn't you wouldn't use a public bathroom to go number 2.
That's correct.
Good for you. You should only go in your own litter box.
Yeah, so he sometimes would say, like at 9 o'clock, uh-oh, I got a whammo.
Oh.
Which is Steckler's the greatest term I've ever heard. That means when you got to go in the next 10 minutes, right? So he starts sweating here. He runs into his car during the show and says, "Please clear Highland for me. I gotta get to the valley and take a dump."
Well, Tim, it's that type of commitment to one's career and one's profession that puts one in the predicament in which I sit tonight.
Why, do you have to whammo again?
No, I'll be fine tonight.
Okay,
well,
good.
actually, Carolla, I know it's only 8:39.
Do you have set whammo times?
No, it usually would happen at 9.
If you only whammo at home, you should know what time you're going to whammo.
Yeah.
Well, I recommend fiber twice a day. It'll work. You'll have clockwork. There you go.
No, I did have body function issues here at the station.
yeah.
And
It's
it
worth
was,
getting an apartment near the station, honestly.
you know what, Doug? You're right.
Seriously.
Yeah, they're small. A hotel even.
There
Their
was-
studio, $1,200 and
And a toilet.
On the way to Vegas, if you drive with Brian Whitman on the way to Vegas, and he has to go to the bathroom, you've got to pull off the highway, and he's got to check into a hotel.
No, that's not true.
It's totally true.
No, it is not.
In Baker or Victorville. I don't know if you watch a little TV and then go to the bathroom and come down, but what a pain in the ass
So
that is.
$40-50 they charge you the full price just to poo?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know.
What if you tell the guy at the desk, "Look, I'm just going to poo. I won't even touch the bed."
I don't know what your experiences have been, but the by the hour hotels I stay away from.
Well, perhaps you should look into them.
I book it for the whole night in case I need to come back, because some of my trips to Vegas have been that quick.
But everybody else in the car is, thinking about Mandalay Bay. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, play video poker, and then all of a sudden say, "Oh no, I got to check into the Holiday Inn Express, go to the bathroom."
Run in there,
What a
get the
buzzkill.
key. Oh, it's great. You have that room. Oh, it's wonderful.
All right, Doug Steckler's with us. Brian Whitman, also Sam Rubin. You can see him tomorrow morning. What time tomorrow morning on KTLA?
Gosh, about 7:15.
Oh my God.
7:15 tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll mention the station going out of business.
All we're going to do is talk about this.
Yeah, wow. Is that right?
No Oscar news at all.
The TV people look healthier, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
I don't know if you're on Botox. The TV guys got it going.
Yeah, radio lets it slide because nobody ever sees it. But you can watch it tonight on stickcam.com. We're live on the web right now. STICKAM.com.
Are we all illustrated as stick figures there?
I don't know what's going on there. Carell, nice to see you.
Nice
and
to
where
see
can people
you.
get a hold of you? It's a night of plugs, my brother.
For all who care, RadioKRL.com.
RadioKRL.com.
That's it.
All right. And the gayest married man in Los Angeles.
That's right, married to a woman. The gayest
Yeah.
married man to a woman in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And if
Does she know?
Yeah, she lives in Texas.
Okay.
All wives should live in 2 states away. If you're going to be married to a woman, they should live 2 states away.
And you've never had
It's harmonious and wonderful.
and you've never had sex with this woman.
Much like Bob and Liddy Joel, never once.
Okay. Wow. All right, and Malibu Dan is with us, everybody. You're listening to the final broadcast here, the Tim Conway Jr. Show, live at 97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 FM Talk. If you are 50 pounds or more overweight, you're at serious risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer, and even sudden death. Lose the weight and keep it off with the Lap Band, the safest FDA-approved weight loss procedure available. It takes about an hour, and you can go home the very same day. Call the Lap Band experts at 1-800-GET-SLIM. They help more people than anyone in California. Let your new life begin, just like Marciano did.
I was type 2 diabetic, had high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and just 3 months later, all those things are gone. People talk about that you get second chance. The Lap Band is my second chance. I'm back.
A Lap Band is covered by most PPO health insurance. Call 1-800-GET-SLIM now for your free insurance verification and a private consultation. Let your new life begin. Call 1-800-GET-SLIM. That's 1-800-438-7546. 1-800-GET-SLIM.
I know. I know.
That's the kind of judgment that loses you a gig, Tim Conway.
You really lost it.
It's a program director's nightmare here. But John used to be on KFI, and I used to listen to him on the way to work because you started 7,
Right.
I started 8. And I always thought to myself, man, how am I going to beat this guy in the ratings? And it turns out I didn't have to worry about it.
No, didn't at all. Not at all. Not a problem. Well, for the record, my fiance is far more disappointed with you and Carolla going off the air than she was when I went off the air. And that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. That's not.
That's too bad.
No, it is a sad statement, but true.
Carolla and I'll have to come over to the house and do the show. What the hell?
That would be very helpful to me.
On the web.
Yeah. Hey, now you got something coming out next Monday, right?
I certainly do. Yeah, I got a brand new film coming out.
You got a copy of it?
And you have the first. This is not a lie.
Wow.
This is the first copy in Los Angeles, hot off the presses for you.
You were just
Tim
talking
Conway.
about this when you were here last
It's all,
time.
Get your hands off it, Carell. This is for
I won't harm it, I promise.
Media malpractice, how Obama got elected and Palin was targeted. I'm going on the Today Show on Monday.
Oh, good for you.
And all hell's going to break loose. But that literally is
the first copy.
The first copy. For
Wow.
Did you burn that yourself?
Yes.
I'd love to have this autographed and then put it on eBay tonight.
Can you get Palin to sign it?
I could arrange for that.
Oh, is that right?
We might need the extra cash from that signature, so let's do that.
I'll tell you what, though,
it.
it really is, after spending the years I did at KABC, it's good to see, John, you've given up the conservative propaganda. It's refreshing, to meet a talk show host, a radio AM talk show host who, has put together a film about Sarah Palin being a victim and all of this.
Well, you should watch it. You should watch it,
Yeah, I might
Brian.
learn something,
You
right?
might. You
Yeah,
might.
of
You might.
course.
There's
right.
still hope for you,
That's right. That's right.
He's coming
Were you
around,
one of the
though.
expenses that she tried to, write off from her house? Because you did the interview there at her house, right?
I'm not going to argue with you
just
tonight
questioning,
about
just
Sarah
asking,
Palin.
just
This is all
Corral,
about
leave him
Tim
alone.
Conway.
All right.
You're with
It's
the
all
military.
about him.
Well, that's
It's about Tim. This is a.
Watch the today.
He's going to fight with the girls in The View later in the week, aren't you?
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's going to be an interesting time.
All right, and a guy that we used to prank call over at KBC, and then we were very embarrassed that he landed over here because we sort of had to admit it to him. Merrill Shindler, everybody.
Yeah. It'd be Jason and Sulaco.
Yeah,
and he'd
Jason
call
Sulaco
up,
and I.
and he'd be asking some question about where he could find a good seafood restaurant in Malibu, and I'd be real serious. Well, see, if you could drive up the coast and, you turn left, there's Neptune's Net. It's a great place. And then he'd start saying something like, F word, F word, F word, F word, F word. And I look at my engineer going, what's he saying? Because, when we get, pranked like that, we're never ready for it.
Right. Yeah.
It's
you're
like,
always very slow on the button. and you could listen, because they had, I guess, like a 20-second delay. So we called Merrill and say, hey, Merrill, where's the best ribs in Beverly Hills? He goes, oh, I'll tell you. And then we go, F you, F you, F you, F, 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 F. And you would dump about 4 seconds of it, and then there would be 9 seconds of swearing, and Merrill saying, where's the dump button?
Also, remember, at KBC, the way it worked was that you pressed the button and it played it back in your ear. So you got to hear it a second time. So you never knew it was gone. So you kept pressing the thing going, why is it going away? And every time you pressed it, it came back again.
Could you give the call numbers on KBC? Bob would like that.
Yes.
Merrill, I have a restaurant question.
Yes.
Any of them hiring?
McDonald's, I hear.
Let's see how you can say, would you like fries with that?
Would you like to supersize?
Carell would.
I really got to thank Steckler for coming in here. I never enjoyed myself in anything in my life so much when Steckler would go off on a caller or somebody in the studio. Like the engineers screwed up or something happened to I don't know, your chair or something, or maybe perhaps your mail didn't get there before 5 o'clock when you
possible.
came in.
Could have been many things.
And to hear Steckler absolutely go ape s on somebody. It was like a 2-minute long orgasm.
It was very therapeutic for me, being able to have that outlet. And then, after, what was I here? With you about 8 years.
Yeah, 8
and
years.
then I wasn't quite as angry, and that wasn't the guy that they hired.
And blasted away. We have a sample of Doug Steckler going absolutely crazy on a caller. Here we go.
In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Can we frigging fix this? God damn, am I getting tired of this? We get, bounced around to every frigging different time slot, and then we frigging show up for work, and they can't even frigging fix the frigging board. God damn it. Get your frigging act together here. Chris, Richard, you frigging tons of fun. You with the frigging Pete Rose hairdo, get your engineering asses in here and lock this off. I'm not doing this anymore.
Steckler
you
is leaving.
Sons of bitches! You frigging sons of bitches! Fix this frigging booth, or I'm gonna kick your ass all the way to China!
Wow! What a way to start off, huh?
You mother effing sons of bitches!
Keep it long.
I suppose we could trace one of those guys to the Pete Rose hairdo, but I don't remember that.
And that anger was directed at someone we worked with every day.
See, the nights I felt like that, I called in sick. That's the Steckler and Whitman difference. If I had that kind of anger in me, I just said, F it, not going to make it in tonight.
And the board still doesn't work.
Right, yeah, right.
The board's still broken.
No, these guys, again, the guys who did the boards here at this station, man, we have very few problems here. Lynn Duke and everybody, Scott Mason, they really kicked ass. They make us sound great every night. And the only time that you hear their names is when something goes wrong, but they really kick ass. I don't know if they're here tonight. Is Lynn Duke here and Scott? I think I saw Lynn
he's
earlier.
kicking around out there.
And Scott Mason, man. These guys are the best engineers on the entire planet. Also, Chris Insulatis is with us. I got to thank this guy. We can put you on this mic over here, Chris. He is one of the sales guys here that made me some dough on the weekends. I was working the weekend show, and with a doctor. And it was the most effed up show in the world. The doctor was selling a cholesterol medication, and you can hear him smoking on the air while he was selling the medication. And I said to him, I said, you got to use shut your mic off when you light the cigarette because I can hear it. And he goes, nah. He goes, nobody can hear it. And then you could hear him opening up beers on the 11 a.m. show, and he'd sit there and drink and smoke cigarettes, and then tell the audience. Hey, listen, a guy would call up and go, I've been on heart medication for 3 months right now, but I want to lower my cholesterol. He says, take your heart medication and throw it in the ocean. I'm like, hey, whoa, doc. I don't know if you can, or you want to do that. You haven't even seen the guy.
You know what I loved about it was the fact that you got up every morning at 5 a.m.
Right, 5
and
a.m.
were here and I could tell that you were actually snoring on the other side of the line, and you weren't paying attention to anything.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you'd hear Dino chime in because you could tell that you were either snoring or you were outside having a cigarette.
It was tough to get up for. It's 4 a.m., starting at 5, and selling cholesterol medication to nobody.
I mean, but the great thing, we made so much money on that
How
deal.
much did you get paid for that, Tim?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good time.
I think you were getting I think I had Tim up to about $10,000 a month for showing up. No wonder he was getting his butt up at 5 a.m.
That'll do it.
And you know what? The great thing was that you were actually lazier than I was, because I would call you up and go, "Hey Tim, you want to cut this commercial?" Like, well, can you put it together for me? And I'd be like, "No, just wing it, man." I'm like, I don't want to do anything on this thing. We're both he's making $10,000 a month. I'm making $10,000 a month, and we both don't want to put 5 seconds of effort into it.
Easy. My wife's around.
Doctor, maybe you should do that show again.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had no idea there was that chance to make that kind of money at this point.
Did you even make that working with clearly?
They had me do one show. I got one. Where's Cal? Since we're where's Cal?
The greatest weekend show was with Louis Anderson. Brian Whitman used to do a show about gambling with Louis Anderson, right?
Yes.
And Brian Whitman, I don't know what happened, called in sick one day on a Sunday, and Malibu Dan took over for him. So it's Malibu Dan and Louis Anderson. And they're going to do a 2-hour show about gambling. And Malibu Dan's first question to Louis Anderson he says, "So, Louis, thanks for coming in. You're enjoying yourself?"
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be here.
So, I heard you're addicted to gambling. Is that right?
Oh, don't say that. What are you saying? It's a show about gambling.
It was a show that was sponsored by a casino, and the first thing he said, he goes, "Hey, so you're addicted to gambling, huh?"
The show was called Casino Talk.
Yeah.
This was my only issue with Louis, was that his movement to and from the microphone. So, I've just been doing radio my whole life. He, of course, obviously TV and comedy and all that, but literally this would happen sometimes.
So what you need to do is go to Vegas. When you go to Vegas, go to Mandalay Bay. It's the greatest place ever. You play 21, but the slots are hot in here.
And I'm going, Louis. And I hear another Louis Anderson story. I swear to God, this is true. This was the big meeting before we launched the Casino Talk show. And I'm sitting there with Louis Anderson in the conference room here at this facility. And I said, all right, well, it's great to meet you, Louis. I'm going to go across the street to the IHOP. And Louis Anderson looks at me and says, and I quote,
"Oh, don't do that. That's so unhealthy."
Is that all
Yeah,
right?
that was a great show. All right, Doug Steckler. So we got to take a break here. Doug Steckler is with us. Always nice to see you,
glad to
young
see you,
man.
Jimmy.
And Brian Whitman, watch John Ziegler Monday morning on the Today Show. Do you know what time about?
It'll be 7 a.m. hour.
7 a.m.
Right,
All
yeah.
right, and the fireworks going to fly, huh?
I
They give
think
you
it
any
could be,
cred?
could be a nuclear meltdown.
Just don't get stuck with Hoda and Kathy Lee.
Could
for
be a
God's
YouTube
sake.
moment.
Carolla, you can check out his website, krlradio.com. RadioKRL.com. That's why I can never see you on the internet.
Are we getting the hook? Is that the
Yeah.
deal?
Oh, I had. That's
No, but we can hang.
What,
And
we
also,
gonna
Merrill
fire- we don't know,
Shindler
we
is
can't
with
be
us.
fired.
And Merrill, are you gonna? Your show is moving to KFWB.
I'm
Is that right?
unemployable, man.
No, you're on KFWB now, aren't you?
Oh, not that I know of.
You're not?
They haven't called me.
Oh, Christ,
I'll
I
call
didn't
them
know
tomorrow.
that. Ah, so you are unemployable.
I'm not a block show. I'm unemployable.
Hey, listen.
I'll see you at the track, dude.
Selling a show talking about restaurants in L.A. will always be a winner. Everyone always is looking for the next big thing, and you'll get a job here in 10 seconds.
I need the sugar tit.
Yeah, why don't you go work over at KBC with
Oh, yeah.
Bob Moore?
We should do shots every time KBC is mentioned.
Yeah, so, we can call you and swear at you again.
I'll press the same button.
Yeah, Merrill Shindler, everybody. All right, we got to take a break here. This is the final Tim Conway Jr. show. Go to our website, and we're going to start something on Monday. TimConwayJr.com, and we're live at 97.1 FM Talk.
It's so sad living at home, far from the city, and the midnight rush is so bad. Going to school, so far from me, and the dirty things that we done. I'm the king of the nighttime world, and you're my headline queen. I'm
FM Talk.
This is Bill and Kath from American Vision Window.
welcome back, everybody. It is the Tim Conway Jr. Show live at 97.1 FM Talk. Doug Steckler joins us. The biggest
Thank you, Jimmy. Great to be here.
Always nice to see you.
A lot of mixed feelings.
Right. Well, you know, I had so many great times with you, my brother, and I can go on for about 12 straight days of great stories. But one of the great ones was when you were leaving the station and you said, Malibu Dam, I've known you for 8 years. And I got to be honest with you, I've had no impact on your life.
That's true. And I said, I admit, Dan, you've had an impact on my life. I mean, I've learned quite a bit from you.
Right.
Your life is different from mine. And I said, I've had no impact at all. And he looked at me and said, no, not really.
And there's room for impact, right?
There's a lot of surface area there that's impactable.
All right. Brian
You may
Whitman
get
is
it
with us. And also, I got to thank Dave Harden over here, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Harden, mortgage man.
Great
nice
to see you.
you, man.
Oh, nice to see you.
This is, I do a weekend show with Dave Harden, been doing it for 2 years, and it is as enjoyable, if not more enjoyable, to come in and do on the weekends and do that show
Well,
with you.
thank
Really
you.
terrific.
That's very nice. Yeah, and I put my underwear on backwards for you tonight.
Yeah,
just for you.
Yeah, the first show we did, he said, I got to go to the bathroom, goes to the bathroom, comes back, and I said, you were there for 10 seconds. He goes, yeah, my underwear was on backwards. And I thought, man, maybe this isn't the guy to do my loan.
Yeah, well, we got your loan done twice.
But he did it. He did it twice and saved me a lot of money. And 888-35 apply. Is that the phone number?
That's the number, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
hey,
that'd
Tim,
be the phone number.
I do have. I'm fortunate enough to work with you for the last 2 years. You are absolutely the best. I swear, absolutely the best.
And it's true. That is the
May I
truth.
get out of here, Dave, please? But we exchanged only things on Valentine's Day. You know that.
Well, and your birthday. Yeah, just your birthday.
All right. I got to also thank this young lady on the phone here. She is one of the hosts, or I guess anchors over at Channel 9. Pat Harvey, how are you?
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Patrick Harvey, man.
All right, man. Look at you, Pat.
Hey.
You know what? In all sincerity, first of all, this just ain't right.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to thank you, especially for your professionalism and your talent. They don't grow 'em like you guys anymore, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Can't just come up and entertain an audience and just
Pat,
tell them the
please.
truth.
Listen.
Engaging, you know that.
I don't know if you know this, but about 9 years ago, I ran out of crap to say.
You would never know it.
Oh,
Tim,
all right.
you know what? Whatever you threw out there on the cuff like that and on the spot, it worked. You know, for several years now,